Ariel. This is Jim, and I live in Texas, but today I'm in Florida. It's about 1 p.m. and I'm at the Enchanted Forest Bird Sanctuary, which is about 3 or 4 miles outside of the Kennedy Space Center. I intended to go to the press center early to do a little more photography and take advantage of their Wi-Fi and watch NASA TV, which you can't do in my Cocoa Beach hotel for some reason. However, I was denied. My press badge doesn't become valid until 2 p.m. so I have an hour to kill. I thought I would do a quick video to go over some of the highlights of the SpaceX NASA mission that's going to fly tomorrow, we hope. I'm near an airport, so excuse those damn little bug smasher airplanes. This mission is called Commercial Resupply Mission 1. This is a mission in which NASA is paying SpaceX to fly its Falcon booster and Dragon capsule up to the space station. The capsule is going to deliver about 1,000 pounds of cargo, and it can also take about 1,000 pounds of excess junk and equipment and anything that needs to come back from the station. It can take it back down. The Obama administration, and you may be shocked to hear me say this, made some good calls, and one of them was to contract out this basic going up and down to the space station and let NASA spend its internal resources more on the really hard stuff, going to Mars and going to the deep space and doing basic fundamental research. So what they did was they had a competition with a number of aerospace companies joining in and competing to get the right to get these delivery contracts up to the space station. There's going to be 12 of them, I believe. At least from SpaceX. 2 companies were selected to actually fly the missions. Of course, SpaceX has flown its Dragon in orbit once on a test mission, and then on the second mission it demonstrated that it could go to the space station, be grappled by the astronauts up there, pulled into the space station, docked. The astronauts could go in and smell the new spacecraft smell, and they had some cargo on that first mission that was mostly non-essential stuff. And that was a demonstration mission. NASA subsidized that, but SpaceX, bore a significant portion of the cost of that one. That mission proved that the Dragon and the Falcon combination are viable and for delivering operational cargo to the space station. So today is the first contracted mission, which NASA's paying SpaceX to fly that Dragon up there, drop the cargo off, bring back any cargo that needs to come down, and then do it again 11 more times. At the end of that 11th mission, they should be ready to put people into the Dragon and fly people up and down. And I think that's going to take a couple of years or so, but it's going to happen. So kudos to NASA and to the Obama administration for handling this private-public sector partnership really well. NASA's acting like a customer. It didn't micromanage either SpaceX or Orbital. The other company that is going to be doing this is Orbital Science Corporation. Their spacecraft is more of a cylinder-shaped spacecraft. It can take stuff up, but it can't take it back down. So Dragon is the only thing that can bring cargo back down to Earth, which is kind of nice for some experiments and equipment that might need to come down, be refurbished and reused instead of just tossed out the window or whatever they do up there when they have nothing else to do with it, or put it in a Progress and let it burn up. Progress being the Russian delivery vehicle that they use to help resupply the station. This is not an easy thing to do. Rocket science is hard. They have a 1-second launch window, and I was talking to people at the Space Center yesterday. I believe we're used to, if you're a big space program fan, having these big launch windows where they're 10 or 15 minutes long, and there's a couple of them a day. Well, I think because the space shuttle was designed as a military vehicle that could have a lot of extra energy to launch have many launch opportunities during the day, plus have what they call cross-range ability, which meant that it could take off, have a problem, come back down and land again up to 1,000 miles from where it took off. The space shuttle had just such tremendous flexibility that that we don't have with the SpaceX Falcon system, and that's because it's not needed to pay for it. So I'm sure as a cost trade-off, they made this booster strong enough to get the Dragon up to the space station and no stronger. So that means they have one launch window per day, if they have a launch window at all, and it's basically 1 second long. So they have to either launch it like that or wait till the next launch window. In the case of this mission, which will hopefully fly on October 7th, 2012, the launch window is about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. And if that fails to launch for some reason, they have two more. They have one on Monday evening and one on Tuesday, which is a little earlier in the day. The weather reports that I'm getting from the NASA email list is that tomorrow night, Sunday night, the first launch window has about a 60% chance. There's a lot of cumulus activity here in Florida right now. There was a lot of thunderstorms last night. There were a lot of rain. If a thunderstorm or even a big cumulus cloud parks over the launch pad during that 1 second, they will not launch. They need to have, I think they can launch through a thin cloud, but nothing with any sort of buildup in it, nothing that might hit the damn thing with lightning. So we're hoping that we won't have to, that I won't have to stay another day, but I'm willing to stay up to the first 3 launch windows. And I think after the 3rd window, if they don't get it off by Tuesday, I think it's several weeks that they have to wait till things line up again. So I'll be here as long for at least those first 3 windows. The rocket that we're going to see fly tomorrow was tested at McGregor. If you've watched my videos, I've gone up there occasionally to look at it up there, look at the big test stand. The whole thing's been put together. They've just mated a rocket over the last few days, mated it with the Dragon space capsule. They will start the countdown officially, I think, 24 hours before the launch. So that would be 8:30 tonight, Eastern Time. And they'll begin to actually activate the systems on the Falcon Dragon system about 8 hours before the launch. They refuel it about 4 hours before the launch. And then, like I say, in that 1 second window, they launch it. The interesting things to look for during the launch is the max Q, maximum dynamic pressure, which is the greatest aerodynamic stress on the vehicle. That happens about a minute after launch. That's where the combination of speed and air pressure puts the most force on there. That's the first time you can breathe a little bit. The engines will keep running. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. The max Q is at 10 seconds after launch. Oh, excuse me, 1 minute and 10 seconds. There we go, 1 minute and 10 seconds. Now I'm synced up. I apologize for that. The 2.5 minutes, the first stage shuts down. Second stage has to start up and fly. We would sure like to see that. And then the Dragon will jettison its nose cone, because by now it's actually in space, so there's no need to have the nose cone anymore. The second stage cuts off at about 9 minutes, and the Dragon at that point is in orbit. But don't put your happy dance on yet, just at the 9-minute point, because it's got to deploy those solar arrays for this to work. And I don't know, I've been following space missions. I can remember doing a presentation, a show and tell, where I built a rocket this is going to stagger my younger viewers, in 1958, and when I was in the 1st grade. I made a little rocket, a plastic model rocket, and I had a show and tell about it and talked about the space program. That's how long I've been interested in all of it. So I know, after watching all these years, one thing that trips up a lot of space vehicles is deploying the solar arrays. They're all folded up. They've got to extend out to power the craft. So once those solar arrays come out, it's up there, it's in orbit, the solar arrays are out. Now we can do a little happy dance. Now, I better wrap this up. It's kind of gone long enough, but I will say that the NASA press people discourage happy dancing anywhere where the real reporters are, or where there's network cameras or NASA cameras. We're not supposed to do happy dances and scream and yell and run around in circles like they do in Hawthorne when you watch the SpaceX video feed. So I'll try not to do a happy dance, but I may not be able to contain myself. This is Jim, and I'm in the Nature Preserve, the Enchanted Forest Nature Preserve, near the NASA Space Center in Florida. And hopefully I'll have more reports later.